And now to a WJCL 22 news investigation. A Savannah police employee logging nearly 3,900 overtime hours over 4 years. But it's time prosecutors say she never worked. Chief Lenny Gunther declined our request for an interview, but in a statement called the incident, quote, an egregious theft of taxpayer money. WJCL 22 News' Andy Cole was the first to break this story. He spent hours digging through documents and has since learned how she pulled it off.
192 hours of overtime in a single 2-week pay period. That's what Savannah Police's Southside Precinct Administrative Assistant Tiffany Welch-Neely logged the week of September 10, 2023. Over those 14 days, she claimed to have worked 11 of them straight without a single break. But this isn't an isolated incident. Through the Open Records Act, we requested all of Welch-Neely's pay stubs from her time working for the city. In January 2020, after a year of working for Savannah Police, Tiffany Welch-Neely started logging large amounts of overtime. We found 23 pay periods where she logged more than 70 hours of overtime. By the time it was all said and done, prosecutors say she stole $150,000 in taxpayer money.
To me, that is physically impossible for someone to be working that many hours. The question I have is, why wasn't that caught? That's the big question I have. Why wasn't that caught?
We asked the city of Savannah that exact question. In a statement, the city says Welch-Neely adjusted the numbers after her supervisor signed off. As an administrative assistant, it was Welch-Neely's job to submit time for the entire precinct. The city admits, quote, safeguards in place to prevent this theft failed.
Unfortunately, when we don't have updated systems and we have old way of doing things, this is the sort of issue that we run into.
When you have someone who does not do the right thing, then you identify them, you investigate, and then you prosecute.
The city did just that. In late June, Welch-Neely was indicted on 3 counts of theft by taking and 3 counts of theft by deception. She spent a night in jail in early July, but remains out on bond awaiting trial.
These are pretty egregious. That, this isn't skimming a little bit off of the top. These are pretty egregious, discrepancies that I think if anyone was paying any kind of attention, they should have caught, right?
The city says since discovering Welch-Neely's theft, they've created more robust checks and balances and now conduct monthly payroll audits. They also say once the case is adjudicated, the city will be able to file an insurance claim for the theft of taxpayer dollars.
And every time a public employee does that, there's an opportunity for someone to say, see, I told you, they're all crooks. And it makes it bad on all of us. So, it's unfortunate. But again, I believe we identified it, and so we have addressed it, and I think addressed it appropriately.
We asked to talk with Police Chief Lenny Gunther on camera, but he declined our request. In a statement, Gunther says the safeguards failed, but, quote, it is our responsibility to prevent misuse of taxpayer funds in our payroll process, and we're taking action to make the process more secure. We also reached out to Welch-Neely for this story. She, too, declined our request for an interview. For WJCL 22 Investigates, I'm Andy Cole.
And if you have an issue you would like us to investigate, just email us at investigates@wjcl.com.